Why is it that you detectives always try to escape as soon as you wake up? No, seriously, I'm curious. You see, nearly every other person that I bring here starts with trying to figure out what happened to them once they wake up and see their situation. But you detectives jump straight into the struggling every single time. Not in the chatting mood, huh? Well, I guess it doesn't matter anyway. The only thing that matters is that you're not going to get out of these chains until I unlock them. Which I will, soon enough, but not before I explain what's going to happen next. Don't interrupt me, detective. I do not appreciate it, and I would highly recommend not upsetting me while you're still restrained. It could lead to a rather unfortunate result for you. I trust you can understand my meaning. Wonderful. Then let's get back to my explanation. As you can see through that small window over there, the sun is setting. I'm going to let you out of these chains as soon as it fully sets. And if you manage to make it until it begins to rise again, then I will do two things. Detective, I will not ask you again. Do not interrupt. I hope that your silence means you're ready for me to continue, so I will. The first thing I will do, if you make it until sunrise, is that I will stop hunting you. The second thing that I will do is surrender myself to you with a full confession of every crime I have ever committed. Always a shocked expression when I get to that part. I'm not lying. Simply make it until sunrise and you get me willingly in cuffs. Of course, I don't plan on simply letting you wander around my home. As I mentioned before, I will be haunting you with every intention of killing you and adding you to my collection. Ugh, so predictable. Yes, I am sure you could simply attack me once I release you, but that would be a bad idea, as I have a knife and you don't. If my research is up to my usual quality, then you have been hunting me for the last 3 months? In that time, have you ever wondered what happened to the last detective that was trying to catch me? How about the one before them? Or how about every other detective going back to the first that started looking for me close to a decade ago now? I let the first keep searching for nearly 6 years before I made my move. It was much less fun by that point. Of course, as they gotten older, slower, less of a threat. I was newer to this kind of thing, you see. I didn't quite have the taste for it that I do now, and was far too focused on the perfect timing. The perfect kill. Now that I'm older and much, much more experienced, I simply wait for an opportunity that I see working and simply pounce. You really should have changed your routine now and again. This might have been harder to set up if you had. And there it is. The realization that your usual tactic of brute force and intimidation won't work. I'm more than capable of handling you in a fight, detective, and I'm more than willing to show you. In fact, that's why I like to hunt your colleagues. You fight more often than not. Just remember that if you decide to give it a try anyway. Oh, and by the way, detective, not one of them managed to make it past the 3-hour mark. Just something to think about while I unlock you. Time to run our fight, detective. You only get a 3-minute head start after all. Aw, I know that look in your eyes. You're still trying to decide which way to run, aren't you? Away and hide with the possible chance of freedom in a few hours, or at me, an attack with the possibility of freedom within a few minutes. Well, detective, make your move. Which choice do you think gives you the better odds? Good choice, detective. I'll be seeing you very, very soon. I used to think that detectives would be harder to hunt because they would be good at covering their tracks, but I quickly found that they always forget that they leave tracks, and actually often leave more than the regular person does. Ah, there you are, detective. Did you truly believe that I would have left that window unlocked? Come on now, you must know that I'm not so stupid to have made a mistake like that at this point in my career. Such shame. This time it didn't even take me an hour. I had hoped that with your reputation, you would have at least done something that I haven't seen before. Such a shame. That won't work either, I'm afraid. The windows are all bulletproof for just this purpose. Let's get this over with, shall we? I'll try to make it quick for you since you were the first to attempt using the chair to smash the window, so at least you did something new. Oh, don't beg. It's such a repulsive act for someone that really should be above it. Now, come here. Time for this hunt to end. Now that's more like it. Finally someone who can fight as well as their reputation says that they can. This might actually be fun after all. I must say, that was the best fight I've had in a long time. It's a shame this is going to be the end of our time together. But don't worry, detective. I'll make sure you barely feel a thing. Where did my... Well, didn't see that coming. That's definitely something I haven't felt before. I must admit, I don't particularly like it. So, what now? Going to take my body and use it to make your career? I thought so. But that won't happen, detective. You've missed something in your rush to end my life that someone in your profession shouldn't have missed. Oh, but I think you will care. I think you'll care a lot. Because the thing that you have forgotten is that you're very, very close to me right now. Looks like your friends have found you, detective. It's a shame that they're going to be just a little too late to help you. Oh, why aren't I coughing right now? Well, unfortunately, you actually missed two things when you stabbed me. The first was that I had a second knife, but the second was that this was not the first time that I have been stabbed by one of my victims. And that's why I make sure to wear a stab vest at all times. Which means I'm afraid that the knife you were holding never actually punctured my skin. No you don't. I'll just take this knife away from you. There we go. I'll just throw it over here, out of your reach. I'm sorry, Detective, but this was once again partially your fault for not thinking before you acted. And I could not think of a better way to get you close than to pretend that I was wounded. And as you can obviously tell, it worked exactly as I intended. Now, I should get out of here before your friends decide to ignore any sense of due process, and I join you in the afterlife. Goodbye, Detective. This truly has been fun. I sure hope that my next victim will be just as fun as you have been. They did get a cordon up quickly. Well, time to play the lost dog Ingo and see if that can get me through. Excuse me, officer. Have you seen a small black poodle anywhere? Oh, there's something happening in this building? I'm so sorry. I didn't realize. Then I'll make sure to get out of your way so you can do your job. I don't want to get anyone hurt by being underfoot. Yes, of course, officer. The name's Piper, please. Let me know if you find her. I'll be over at the bookstore searching for a while. Thank you. Thank you so much. That works every time without fail. And they wonder why they can never catch me. So predictable. This city gotten a little too busy. I think it's time to travel somewhere a little quieter and test my skills against a different kind of prey. I've always wondered what it would be like to hunt a soldier, or maybe a firefighter this time. They're meant to be quite tough. Let's not get ahead of myself. First I choose my destination, and then I choose my prey.